It worked. It worked out.
It was perfect, like you guys planned it that way.
It really was. I didn't plan on misspelling Green Beret. I'll get harassed for Green Beret for a long time, and deservingly so.
For a couple days.
The lives for a couple days. The lives aren't going to let me forget that.
Yeah, we'll see them in the chats on the live for weeks.
For weeks.
I said Marika one time.
Your name's going to be Gert on the next live.
They're relentless, and I love it. I'm telling you,
Green Garrett's.
Our audience is funny.
Yeah, they are.
Our audience is funny.
That one guy that would always come in and say, "So I went to tell my wife."
Oh, that guy? Yeah. Who kept on telling how hard he was on his wife on the super chats?
And she'd say, "Go watch your whatever cast."
Boy video or something. Video.
Yeah. Yeah, he was hilarious. Gosh. All right. Episode 2.
Welcome to the Tier 1 Podcast.
This is amazing, dude. Check this out, right?
I am your host, Brent Tucker, owner of First Responder Cigar, Coffee, and Cask Company. Go to frcc.shop and use promo code. And I knew you were going to do that.
Max was tap dancing.
You were going to do that.
Max was tap dancing.
I'm going to see where he's going to lay down so I don't have to do this all over again. Max, sit. Not there. Nope, not there.
That is far from sit, bro.
You're getting close, though.
Hey, don't do this to me. This is why you're getting the baby gate.
Where'd you go to dog school, bro? Seminole High School?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I knew he was going to. I know he's going to shark around, let him do his thing, and he's going to end up laying right at your feet again anyway. Max, you're not part of the show.
He's like, I am the show. What are you talking about?
Max.
The dog cast. Oh, there he did the sit.
Okay, all right,
a little latency there.
Okay, all right. All that's going to get it. Of course, now he's right there. He's killing me. Here we go. Welcome back to the Tier 1 Podcast. I'm your host, Brent Tucker, owner of FRCC. That's First Responder, Coffee, Cigar, and Cask Company. Go to frcc.shop and use promo code FRCC15, that's 15, to get 15% off the world's best coffee, cigars, and bourbon.
And I'm Drew Tucker, in charge of quality control of cigars at FRCC. Please join our Patreon for exclusive and behind-the-scenes content. The link is in the description.
As always, this episode is brought to you by Human Performance TRT. Actually, Phil's partner with me at HP-TRT. Why don't you work it every day? Why don't you take it from here?
I'm Phil with Human Performance TRT. We offer peptides. We offer hormone therapies, weight loss. Check us out at hp-trt.com. Check out our YouTube at Human Performance TRT. And make sure you use Tier 1. It's Tier 1, right? Not Tier 120. Tier 1
promo code
for your promo code at checkout, and you'll get 20% discount.
There you go. You're natural. You're natural. You service both men and women?
We do. We absolutely do.
That's a weird way to ask that, Brent.
No, that was a perfect way to ask it, because in my head I wanted to say something fucked up, but I didn't.
That's how we're going to kick this thing off. All right. This episode is a unique episode. I've wanted to do something like this for a while, but it has its own problems. We're going to do the top 10 kid up songs, and after essentially 20 years of war, the boys know something about kid up songs. I do. You do. You served as well, Phil. It doesn't. First responder, military, anyone in the tactical ward, anyone in the tactical world knows exactly what a kid up song is. They have a favorite one, or they have one that reminds them of a certain time or era when they heard that song, and it brings them right back.
It'll put you right back in that spot.
It's still done. You know, I always add to my playlist, but no one ever takes away from their music library. Like no one's like, maybe a little bit, but rarely.
Yeah.
Like this song's out of the library. So eventually it's going to come back in and it's going to play, and you'll be like, oh man, I remember I used to listen to that song.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to point out is this music in war isn't anything new. Heck, you can go all the way back to when people lined up across from a field from each other, and they had drums.
Yep.
And flutes and songs, and I'm sure, and of course, they were used for different reasons. But music's been a part of war for a long time. For me, it kind of really starts with the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
wasn't there, but we all have family members that did have people that served in the Vietnam War or were alive at that time, where the Vietnam War affected them.
Yeah.
My dad got drafted, but the war was winding down, and when his draft, we had to go report like, hey, we're not taking draftees anymore. But my dad was always really interested in the Vietnam War, so I got to see a lot of Vietnam War documentaries,
right,
which made me interested in the Vietnam War. And so every time I hear the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black, or CCR, Fortunate Son. Which is really ironic because most people don't know, which it's not even that hidden in it. That's an anti-war song, yet it's deeply connected to the Vietnam War, but not in a negative way.
Right.
When the whole thing is about anti-war, but it's a very pro-war connected song, if that makes sense. Jimi Hendrix. I mean, I can't listen to All Along the Watchtower without thinking of Vietnam.
Yeah.
I mean, case in point, did you know that All Along the Watchtower was written by Bob Dylan?
I did not.
You're messing with me.
Yeah, I did. But he's written everything though for everybody, and
he's like the original Taylor Swift. Just
he wrote stuff for Taylor Swift.
Did he really?
Yes.
Now I like him less. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can only imagine how many documentaries or short clips or social media clips of Jimi Hendrix along with Vietnam War footage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's been subconsciously throughout my life connected to that war. Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. I had to go look this up. You know, like what's the connection that I have with that? It's the closing credits for Full Metal Jacket. It's the last thing you think about or see, or that gets ingrained in you in an iconic Vietnam movie, Full Metal Jacket. And there's the ending there. When they were singing the Mickey Mouse song. You want to talk about just that movie was odd.
Yeah.
It was odd in the best way. I think that's why it was so iconic. Yeah, unforgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because it was so messed up and odd is why it was good.
Yeah. You go from that adorable pudgy guy to a very demented person, or as we just call them, Marines.
Yeah. You know.
Besides Fortunate Son, they make that connection with Vietnam on another iconic movie.
Yep.
Forrest Gump, not that CCR and Fortunate Son needed any help being connected to Vietnam. But man, you want to talk about iconic, the thump of the blades on a Huey. Now, I still got to hear that in Afghanistan. The DEA task force was still rocking Hueys.
They parked right down the street from us, and we would hear that during the day, and then we hear the Chinooks at night. And I mean, they have a very similar thump.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I look at this right here, and the first thing I think about, the grass and the sunshine. What I really think about is, if I mean, that was the movie, but if the real part of that, like these guys don't forget the smells, they don't forget the grass, they don't forget the humidity of it, and all those things bring you right back. Yeah. But again, so does the music. Whatever music they were listening to then, they hear that music right now, and they go right back to being with the boys.
And they can smell something, or they can, it heightens everything.
It's crazy how well connected smell is to memory.
Yeah.
To this day, not every trash, but I know it's there's a certain trash smell that reminds me of the back alleys of Iraq. Walking at 2:00 in the morning to Target.
Or you smell somebody that's got a little too strong BO, and you're
Afghan.
like right back. You're like, holy crap! And you start looking around real quick.
So really, about all this, we're getting into the top 10 songs, but just want to make that connection to music and war, and
but we've been doing it our whole lives, Brent, with sports and everything else.
For sure.
You're going to war with everybody you're going to play or wrestle or whatever else. So
it's the ultimate sport. It's the ultimate sport. Yeah. What did Hemingway say? I'll butcher it, but there is no hunting like the hunting of men. Yeah. And for those who have done it and done it long enough, will never be satisfied by anything else.
Yep.
And it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I bring up the Vietnam War at the beginning of this because what it makes me think is there's such a strong connection to the Vietnam War. I don't know. I mean, time will tell this. I don't know if the GWOT will have that same connection. I don't know if we have those same iconic songs where the song itself, now it will to us, but all those songs we just talked about, the American public connects those to war. Like I said, it might be a little too early to tell, but I also don't know. I know we have our own movies, but I don't know if we'll have. You tell me, and it's early. Some of these movies came out in the 80s, and Vietnam was done in the early 70s. But I don't know if we're going to have an equivalent to Apocalypse Now. I don't know if we're going to have an equivalent to Platoon, to Full Metal Jacket. I mean, just iconic movies.
They were different. It was a different time though too. In the military and warfare and everything else. And think about the beginning of our war, Brent. We were learning how to not fight in a jungle. Our guys were having to change tactics and change how they're going to fight in the middle of a city or in the middle of a desert where there's no trees, So as that all changed, the music changes with it. And, the CCRs are more of the relaxed, music. Our generation of war fighters was heavier metal or.
So I was thinking about that. It's a great point. Vietnam was in 60s, 70s. We were listening, and when we get to the list, there's plenty of songs in the 90s that was a decade before, and they're GWOT songs, without a doubt, when we get to them. But the equivalent of that to the Vietnam War would be 50s songs that they were listening to in the 60s.
Chuck Berry and shit.
But I don't know if they were. It was such a drastic. I'm sure some of them were. Don't get me wrong, but it was such a drastic culture shift in music between 50s and 60s as it was from 90s to 2000. Wasn't as drastic. 90s music was still relevant, and I don't want to say similar because I can argue that, but it wasn't as drastic as a change.
Because that change went from here to here. In the early 2000s, grunge was starting to phase out. It was still there though.
Here at the Tier 1 Podcast, we're excited to have Tasty Gains as a sponsor, a company with values that aligns with ours. I take their products every day, 3 times a day. And if it wasn't a product that I didn't take personally and believe in, and a company with integrity, then they wouldn't be sponsors on this show. Creatine helps the body produce more ATP, which is an energy molecule that your entire body runs on. It helps improve your physical and mental performance in all aspects of life. Let's be honest, creatine powder sucks to take every day. with the creatine gummies, you can take them with you anywhere, and they taste great. Every batch is third-party tested, so you know you're getting exactly what you pay for. Go to tastygains.com and enter the promo code Tier1, that's TIER, the number 1, and get 20% off your order. Yep. Well, without further ado, I feel like I am somewhat of a subject matter expert on this list. I've been in a few kit rooms. I've kitted up a few times, and I was almost always in charge of the music. So here we go. Number 10, and no in particular order, although they are. I just wouldn't fight over 8 and 7 and 6 and 7 and things like that, but it is a little bit in order. Number 10, Disturbed, Down with the Sickness. Now, this song was released in 2000, right before the war started, but you don't talk about a popular war, not just in kit rooms, but on convoys, in headsets, in gyms, just
in the gym.
Yes, just in general. You know what's funny about that vocal intro? That was actually an accident. David Draymond randomly did that during band practice, while they're doing band practice before the recording, and the band liked it so much, they're like, hey, you know what? Let's keep that in there.
Yep.
One of the most iconic screams. What do we want to call that?
I think he was warming his voice up or something to sing, and they were like, "What was that?"
Yeah, and they kept it. Let's see here. Number 9. This one's an ironic one because I'm giving it as a GWOT song, as it absolutely is, but as everyone knows, it's actually about Vietnam.
Yep.
So, Alice in Chains Rooster, this may be the most melodic song of the bunch, but it's an unmistakable as a war song, because that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
It was released all the way back in 92, a decade before the GWOT. But man, the grunge era is timeless.
Yeah.
I'm sure every generation thinks their prime music is timeless, but the amount of bands that came out in the 90s is just ridiculous.
And good bands.
Good bands. So he actually wrote this song for his dad, Jerry Cantrell Sr., who obviously was in Vietnam, and his nickname was Rooster. And there's another myth thing I've heard. I've heard that it was actually about the 101st, like Screaming Eagles. Like the Vietnamese thought it was a chicken patch. I've heard people say that.
Yeah, I've heard something about they thought the 101st they called them the flying chickens or something like that.
Here's a really fun fact about that song. It was actually, I got to make sure I get this right. MTV pulled it, censored it because it was too graphic.
Yeah,
it was too graphic. MTV, what are we doing? Like,
I remember watching it.
You're not going to censor WAP,
Yeah,
but you're gonna censor Rooster.
Yeah, I remember them blurring over certain images.
Yeah, yep. And that, in fact, after they said that, I remember back. It's like, yeah, they did do that. All right, number 9, Rooster. Here we go. Number 8, Limp Bizkit, Break Things. Another song that came out just before 9/11 and had enough energy in it to carry into years of deployments, without a doubt. I've heard it fondly referred to as the SSE song, for the gentle way U.S. soldiers would search for evidence.
Yes, very gentle, very loving, not breaking anything.
No, the boys that need any help being reminded that they were able to break things.
Yes,
with no recourse.
Yeah, you can kick it all you want,
and you can say what you want about Limp Bizkit. They've gotten better with time.
Yeah,
you know, them and their tour that they're back on, and Fred Durst wearing crazy crazy outfits. That they're one of the bands that I have not seen. I would love to go see
I would love to
Limp
see them
Bizkit
too.
live. Yes, absolutely. You want to talk about the energy of that song? In Woodstock of '99, they famously or infamously played that song, and that's what kicked off the looting and the rioting of Woodstock,
Yep.
which was, as you know, a recreation of a festival about peace and love.
Yeah.
And then Limp Bizkit goes on stage, and they absolutely wreck the place.
to the ground.
Wreck the place.
6 people got killed, or 2 people got killed. A girl got raped. Like it got bad fast.
Sheesh. But that's a Florida band, and we'll take credit for that.
Yeah.
We'll claim Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, they're not bad. I've never had really too much bad to say about them. Especially when Fred's telling everybody to suck the big one. If you don't like us, it's fine.
I thought you were about to say "suck it sideways." That was
And
that joke comes back around. Guys, if you've ever taken one of my tactical classes, you know I'm a huge fan of white lights. You can't hit what you can't see, and the same goes for the bad guys. Why wouldn't you want to put hundreds, if not thousands, of lumens into a bad guy's face? Why would you want him to get a good sight picture back at you? And because of this, we've partnered with Cloud Defensive, the best in the game for both quality and pricing on weapons and handheld flashlights. Their products set the standard for excellence in illumination, ensuring that you're always equipped for success. So go to clouddefensive.com and use promo code Tier1 to get 15% off your next purchase. Next one, 7, Corn Blind. Drew, I don't know if you remember this or not, but when our little brother, Lee, got married, he did one of the coolest things he's ever done. He let his wife run everything about that wedding, as he should have. Right. Very girly, very flowery. He wanted no input in this wedding. Whatever you want. We go to the reception, and this song kicks off. And I'm like, Lee, you dog, you.
that's awesome.
He says, that's what he walks into.
That is amazing.
Are you ready? Doors fly open, and he walks in like a boss.
That's
and I was
awesome.
like, nice. And afterwards, that was awesome because it was the one thing. Because I told her right off the bat, the only one thing I want is the walk-in song to my reception. And she was like, sure, whatever it was. She didn't know what the walk-in song was and she was not happy about it.
Yeah, it was a surprise to her. Yeah.
I loved it so much. Yeah, just keep it playing. Here's something cool about another grunge band, 94. Gosh, this song has motivated our special operations teams on countless raids. And after the build-up, the "Are You Ready?" I don't know. It takes everything in you to stay in the kit room and keep prepping your equipment and just not immediately run out to the helicopters.
Yeah.
You're just like, you just want to grab your kit and go. You're just ready. It was originally written by Jonathan Davis's former band members. So Korn played it, but he used to be in a song called Sex Art.
Oh,
and he basically took that song and then made it famous with his new band. But the fun fact about Korn is this: you know the backwards R in Korn.
Yeah.
You know where they get it from, which is really unique.
No.
Most of the band members used to work at Toys R Us.
Oh.
Drew, do you remember Toys? Of course, you remember Toys R Us.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the R being backwards in Toys R Us?
Yeah.
They're getting ready to open Toys R Us again. I just read an article about it.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
The R is coming
I'm
back.
just kidding.
The backwards,
That's
the
what make it
backwards
awkward.
R is coming
Hey,
back.
when Toys R Us closed down, that was
A disappointment.
that
know
was
what?
sad.
Every
Our childhood died.
kid in this generation should know what it feels like to run amok in a Toys R Us. Because let me tell you what Amazon can't do. it can't replace running around a Toys R Us.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And when you're a little kid, the place feels like it's 3 stories high.
Yeah. And that was the only place where it was allowed for kids to go act
Yeah.
a fool completely, because that's
And
the
we
place
did.
to do it.
Yeah. So that's where they get the backwards R from, because most of the band members from Korn worked at Toys R Us,
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
which is crazy.
That's a fun fact, Brent. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Well, it's also it's not just fun; it's also a learning experience.
Yeah.
Number 6, Avenged Sevenfold, Bat Country.
Yep.
Now, Avenged Sevenfold, they've been rolling out hits for years after this album. And I was almost ready, I don't know if you remember the song, to put Ready to Die in this song's place. It wasn't as popular, but it was a dang good song. But I let my personal bias have an effect on this, because this song was released in 2005. I went to Afghanistan in 2005. And again, I was in charge of the music, so everyone listened to what I liked. Even as a new guy on the team, they let me play this. You know the beginning of this song, the intro says, he who makes a beast out of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man.
Yep.
I've never seen the video, and I was just doing research on some of these songs, and they credit who sings or who quotes that. And who they're talking about is an 18th century English writer named Samuel Johnson, and they put it in there, Dr. Johnson. He made large and lasting contributions as a poet, a playwright, a sermonist, an essayist, and he even wrote a dictionary.
Wow.
Like his dictionary, the Johnson dictionary was the staple before Webster's dictionary, and
The Johnson Dictionary.
I always wanted, if I could ask Avenged Sevenfold a question, it would always want to be, and hey, maybe I don't give enough credit for how smart they are and how well read they are, right. But it just doesn't seem like a 18th century English poet, and one of his quotes is a traditional opening line to a hard rock song. I just want to know how they got there.
They're all kind of autistic.
I looked it up and I couldn't find it. But that same quote, he who makes a beast out of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man, is why that used to be the very first song in all my workouts in Afghanistan.
Right.
So I listen to that song every day.
Yeah. I still love it. It's still on my playlist.
Yeah. All these songs are still on my playlist, and they
Gunslinger,
still
all of
come
them.
up. I will continue with my bias on this one, but there's not just bias, but it's Non-Point in the Air Tonight, which of course is a Phil Collins cover song. But this one's super near and dear to my heart. On one of my first rotation, getting ready for my very first mission, this song was in my playlist, and it popped up on my knockoff iPod that
Zune
that I had, and this thing came up. Sun hasn't come up yet. It's dark. To get cheesy for a second, it's 2005. I've been training since 2001 to go to war. Didn't try out to be a Green Beret for a year after that, but I knew at the end of the day what I wanted was to go to war, go on target, and take it to the enemy.
Yeah.
And I waited my life for. It felt like I had waited my entire life for this.
Yep.
And it was done. I just put it back on. I just started it over. I must have listened to the song 7 times that night, waiting on the birds to come pick us up. And you need a song like this in your Kid Up playlist. It can't be all gas.
Yeah.
It can't be all rock and roll. Like, you need something to say, hey, pull it back a little
pull
bit.
you back just a touch.
Pull it back a little bit. Let's do some internal thinking on the seriousness of what we're about to do. You need a calm before the storm,
Yeah.
if you will. So you need something to get you up. You need something to bring you back down, and that's exactly what this song was for me. And anyone going on a hit, anyone going on a raid. If that song isn't your calm before the storm, it'd be hard pressed to find a better one.
Yeah.
Number 4. I'm happy to bring you number 4 because I'm not sure everyone knows this band. I'm not saying they're a small band. Most people should know this song, but I'm telling you, there will be people who listen to this playlist that don't know this song. I hope that's not true. Baba Flex, Bury Me With My Guns On. Every warfighter and tactical officer needs to know this song. The lyrics couldn't be any more appropriate for a gunslinger's final wish.
Yeah.
Bury me with my guns on. The song was in 2007. It was inspired by a graphic novel called The Preacher. And I tell you, this album has a few good songs. Turn the Heat Up is one of them. Turn the Heat Up is one of my favorite workout songs. It's although Bury Me With My Guns On is a classic chorus. If you listen to it a little bit more, he's actually talking about going up to heaven and continuing his feud with God and getting into a gunfight with him. And I don't know if I would suggest that. You didn't get buried enough with a big enough gun on.
No. I don't think so.
I assure you. But if you like that genre and you're always looking for new music or new music of that time period,
yeah,
go look those guys up. They won't disappoint you. Number 3 on the list, you knew at some point it was coming. You knew at some point, and you knew it was going to happen later on in the list. This is where the list gets very, very difficult. The whole list is difficult. All right, there's a lot of weight on my shoulders putting out a list like this.
I didn't have this at 3 though,
and you'd be wrong, and that's fine.
No, I didn't have you having this. At
Oh,
3.
you didn't have me having this at 3.
I had this a little higher. I had this
Numerically
at 2.
higher. Okay. I'll hold on. I'll give you that. I don't think I'll disappoint you just yet. And I wouldn't necessarily argue that. We'll get to that.
All right.
AC/DC, Thunderstruck.
I used to listen to this before every wrestling match. Every wrestling match.
Okay. I'll tell you where this one gets difficult for me. All right. Right off the bat, and this will be a recurring theme here in a little bit, I said I would only pick one song from each band.
Right.
Otherwise, it'd be 5 AC/DC songs and 5 Metallica songs.
Yeah.
You know, and you can easily do that. You can easily make this list off of 2 bands. But in order to make it a little more interesting, and that this was one of the 2 hardest bands, obviously, you can already guess the other one, just said it, that I had to pick one song. And there was, in like the mid-2000s, there was a leaked recruiting Delta Force video. Did you ever see it? And it had Delta Force guys training and in combat. And the music video to it, I'll show it to you after this. The music video to it, or the music over it was Shoot to Kill by AC/DC. So I really wanted to do Shoot to Kill with this. But at the end of the day, I couldn't let my bias run the whole list.
Right.
And I knew the clear answer was Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of good ones, but would you go any other one on AC/DC, or would you already listen to it wrestling? I feel like I made the right call on AC/DC.
So Thunderstruck has been with me since I was in 5th grade when I first started wrestling, and all the way to deployment. You get to deployment, get to Afghanistan, over to loudspeakers, they're playing AC/DC at least once a day.
So Thunderstruck is the definition is extremely surprised or shocked. So when it comes to a Kid Up song, I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen here. When wheels touch down, there's going to be some extreme surprise and shock
going on. When you go through that door,
yeah,
you have no idea.
So between that hammer on pull off lick right at the beginning that loops, between the name of it, it stood the test of time. It's actually the 2nd oldest song on this list. When do you think Thunderstruck came out?
Didn't Bon Scott, wasn't he a part of that?
I'm just looking for a year.
78.
And now I got to go double check myself. I believe it came out in 1990.
Yeah, Thunderstruck's later.
Yeah.
Something no to Bon Scott.
So, 1990 is when that thing came out. Couple fun facts on this song. One, ever since it came out, every single concert they've played since they released it, they played every single concert.
Wow.
They deem it a necessity for the fans and that they owe it to the fans. They've never played a concert without playing Thunderstruck, nor should they.
No.
Nor should they. I always thought that the song, I'd heard that the song was inspired by a lightning strike. When I looked that up, they were talking like, I guess some people say like Angus was on a plane that got struck by lightning and thunderstruck is what caused that. That is actually false. So it actually came from a childhood toy of his that was called Thunderstreak. And the Thunderstreak toy produced the word to them, like he correlated that with Thunderstruck, and he's always liked it and made a song on it. So it actually came from a childhood toy. Again, informative. Informative.
Like No More Tears.
What about No More Tears?
So Ozzy was bathing one of his kids and he looked at the bottle,
Get
Johnson
outta
Johnson
here.
bottle, and it says No More Tears. And he wrote the song No More Tears.
I almost heard you drop that nugget, a little hint, and almost went on and I said, hold on. Let me dig into this.
Yeah.
A Johnson & Johnson, essentially like baby shampoo,
Yeah.
No More Tears.
Yeah, you remember back in the day, it used to have the big teardrop and said No More Tears.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
I love it. The number 2, who do you think's bigger, Metallica or AC/DC? That's an unfair question, but I just asked it to you.
Our generation?
I'm just saying who's bigger.
I'm
not going to let you weasel out of this with.
I'm going to say Metallica, honestly.
I'm going to say Metallica
because they have bridged a gap between past our, a little bit older than our generation, all the way back to my kids.
Yeah, they've been relevant longer.
A long time.
Yeah. And that's no hit. How dare I? No hit on AC/DC.
No, not at all.
But I have to agree with you on that, which is why, not to answer your question, but the rebuttal to you had AC/DC at 2, which that is the thing why I had to put Metallica at 2.
Right.
So Metallica, you want to talk about a really hard one. Master of Puppets, number 2. Don't Flame Me. I told you I could only pick one song from each band. Seek and Destroy. I mean, you want to talk about a song like set up for the GWOT, but it didn't eclipse Master of Puppets for me with the energy and how catchy it is. For Whom the Bell Tolls. I mean, that one's hard to not put on the list. It just goes over and over.
Creeping Death.
It's just this is maybe one of the hardest things I've done in life. It's not fair.
And it's tough, especially because Metallica had so many heavy songs that seemed like they were written for wartime. Even though they weren't written during wartime, they were 18, 19 years old when they wrote most of this stuff.
But I'm telling you, if you needed a song to get a guy hyped up enough to run through a wall, that's it. This is your Metallica song, and that's kind of in a weird. That line of thinking is kind of how I landed on this song. But there's so many crazy Metallica facts, but this one just throws me for. It's hard to fathom. This was their 3rd album.
Yeah,
3rd album. They were 21 and 22 years old when they did this album. They were already well on their way of being. I don't know if by the 3rd album you could call them on their way of being like rock icons, but they had made a name for themselves, and a name for themselves is going to last a long time.
Yeah.
They're 21 and 22 years old putting this out.
And they had no idea how big of juggernauts they were going to be.
There's no way anyone could have known. But this is another good fun fact about Metallica. Of course, with the longevity and this much hits comes a lot of money. You can do whatever you want. Did you know they're the only band that's ever played all 7 continents?
Yes, I read that a couple years ago.
And because you're such a music guy, you'll get the reference on this. So, of course, the hard one to get to and play would be Antarctica.
Yep.
Not a lot of people go to Antarctica to play. So they went down and played a show for some scientists in Antarctica. And do you want to know what they named the show?
No idea.
Freeze them all.
Freeze them all. Nah. That's perfect.
It's a pun off their kill 'em all.
That is amazing.
Freeze them all. That's what they named it. When they went down to there, the only band to ever play all 7 continents.
Oh, and that's crazy too. If you think about it, if you go back to your question, who is bigger, Metallica or AC/DC? Has AC/DC paid 7 continents?
That's nice. I answered my own question eventually. I didn't even connect the dots.
Once you get a band that's played all 7 continents and then said, we're going to name it Freeze It All at the very end of it. Yeah, man.
All right. I get it. I get the argument. You lead with, if you end with 3 and 2, things like AC/DC and Metallica, and someone might ask, well, who could be bigger than those? But I'm not telling you who's bigger than those. It was the top 10 Kid Up songs, and a lot of it had a preface to do with the GWOT.
Right.
I was connecting the songs of Vietnam to that era and our era. And I have no doubt the biggest song from special operations to infantry and everywhere in between is Drowning Pool, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
Ooh, yeah.
This thing came out in 2001. It was born at the same time the GWOT was born. And for years, you couldn't watch a CQB video. You couldn't watch a Halo video. Yeah. You couldn't watch a patrolling video, a deployment video without this being the theme song.
Every PJ video.
And some people that aren't going to like this and that are a little, it's almost a little bit of a Nickelback effect when it comes to the military because so many people played it.
Yeah.
It became one of those, not this stupid song. But they weren't saying that when this song came out. Everybody in the military loved this song when it came out.
I can't stand Nickelback.
So without a doubt, for GWOT, I believe this is the biggest Kid Up song of the GWOT era. That's my call.
Yeah,
I know it's going to upset some people.
I'll agree with you, but are we doing honorable mentions?
Absolutely, we're doing honorable mentions. By the way, if you guys agree or don't agree with any of these selections, leave a comment. Tell me what we missed. You can do your own honorable mentions, but we are absolutely doing honorable mentions. Oh, before we do this, I actually have a story about this song.
Yeah.
So they were doing a USO tour in Iraq, I don't know, 2006 or 7. And my ODA was asked to play, was asked to do security for it.
Right.
And so we had to go up there and pull sniper duties in Kiara West. And afterwards, some of the guys came in and say, "Hey, we want to show them something cool. Can we take them back to your team room and show them some cool weapons and have them hang out with some SF guys?" We're like, "Yeah, we didn't really get to see the show because we were working." So they come back, we hang out with them, really cool guys. And one of the guys asked him, was like, "Hey, will you sign my sniper weapon? Will you sign it? Let the bodies hit the floor." And the lead singer who actually performed that song had died, so it's not the same lead singer.
Yeah.
He goes, "Man, I really hate that you asked me that because that's not my song, and so I don't want to take credit for it. I don't ever sign this, but I can't tell you guys no."
I can't tell you no.
I can tell you guys no. So my ODA for years, I bet it's still there somewhere, has a sniper weapon with signed by the band. Let the bodies hit the floor. afterwards, he goes, "Hey, if you guys are ever in town or ever come to a show, please come say hi to us. Like, we will make sure that we say hi to you guys." And I was like, all right. Kind of forgot about it. A couple years later, I go to a show and Drowning Pool's there, and it's kind of a small venue show, and I could see their tour bus behind the club. And I look at my buddy Nick, who's there. I was like, "Hey, you want to go hang out with Drowning Pool?" He goes, he's thinking, and in fairness, I mess with people a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Brent, you're not
okay,
yeah,
Brent.
Yeah, I'm not fighting the crowd to go all the way over there to play your stupid game." I was like, "All right, suit yourself." And so I walk over there, big security guy right by the bus, and I'm like, "Hey, will you tell the lead singer that will you tell the band that one of the Special Forces guys from the USO tour is here? We were in Cairo, but they would remember this. They signed my sniper weapon, let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah.
And they told me if I was ever at a show to come say hi." And he looked at me all super like, "What if he?"
Yeah, right, dude.
And I was like, "Seriously, just go tell him." So he goes out there. About 3 minutes comes by. Lead singer comes out. "Hey, where's he at? Where's he at?" And he was like, "That's him?" "Yeah, come on in." I look all the way across to the bars. Look at my buddy Nick. I'm like, "See ya." And I walk into the tour bus to what was not as glamorous as you would think.
was not.
We're all eating bologna sandwiches
Yep.
and drinking beer.
Yep.
He goes, "I remember that. I remember everything about that." He goes, it was a no alcohol tour.
Yep.
He goes, "So I actually remember everywhere we went and everything we did because I've never been so sober in my life."
I didn't like it.
Yeah, hung out with those guys for like an hour, eating bologna sandwiches and drinking their beer, and left.
That's
And that's
awesome.
my Drowning Pool story.
Awesome.
That's not why they're number one. They earned it.
Right.
They earned it.
Well, it is definitely a very iconic song for that era. I would have to say,
What a miss.
You missed.
Or honorable mention. It may not have been complete miss.
I don't know if it's a miss, but it kind of is a miss a little bit for me. Die Motherfucker Die by Dope.
Are you kidding me?
And
Are you kidding me?
I was on their tour bus in 2010 hanging out with them. And I said, "Hey, so I've got a question. When did you guys know you made it?" And Edsel Dope, the singer, said, "As soon as we found out the U.S. military was using Die Motherfucker Die
Are you kidding me?
on prisoners." I was like, holy sh!
I have a bunch of honorable mentions. I can't believe I didn't think of that one.
Yep.
Where do you place it? We'll start top five.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
agree
yes.
with you. Top five. Dang it. Okay, you got me on that one. All right. Do you have any others?
I would go with Creeping Death. Personal reasons.
With
Metallica.
Yep. You can only argue that because only one song per band, so you can only argue that if you believed it would be bigger than Master of
No,
Puppets.
it wouldn't be bigger. Not in that context.
Yeah. Okay.
And then obviously Britney Spears, Hit Me One More Time.
Of course.
You know,
Of course.
always have
Obviously.
to go with that.
Doesn't make top 10, but an honorable mention.
No, not a
if you
top
will.
10, but
Yeah.
it's definitely, it was playing somewhere at some point before.
All right. I got a few more that some of you guys might know. If you don't know these songs, go check them out. You can thank me later. This is a more obscure band, maybe not to people like us, but Prong, Snap
Yep.
Your Neck.
Yep.
That'll get you going.
Yep.
That, if you guys haven't heard that or don't get up to that song, put it in your list. Thank me later.
Firestarter.
Firestarter, that's a good one. And a little more, because they're a little more like, I don't want to say like techno rock,
Yeah,
of sorts, but
Industrial. Yeah, techno rock.
I'll give them honorable mention. If that came on in my kit room, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be mad at it. Fear Factory, Descent is, I really wanted to put that in there, but that's ultra biased to me. But that song gets me going. Yep. Fear Factory, Descent, Soil,
Yep.
Halo. The
live version too is awesome.
That one gets me. I kind of can't believe I couldn't fit them in there anywhere. I just couldn't But Five Finger Death Punch, I believe, deserves to be somewhere on there. I just couldn't find a song that I really thought was unique enough. Great band, but Kid Up Band, I don't know. And I'm sure I Wash It All Away definitely could have made it there. I just couldn't bump anyone out for it.
But that's not, for me, that's not a Kid Up song. That's a aftermath of 20 years of war. But
here's two more bands that I love, and they fit the time frame. I just couldn't find the right song. Breaking Benjamin and Chevelle. How do they not make the top 10 list?
Yeah.
Red is a great one. They have some great songs. I just couldn't squeeze them on the top 10. But but before you guys get too mad at me, I want you to know I thought about them.
Yeah.
I thought about them, and I do believe that they belong somewhere in there. But you guys tell me what I missed and what should be on there. Saliva probably deserves to be somewhere.
So remember, this is Kit Up songs. This isn't Jim songs.
Right.
They're two different things.
Yeah. Here's one that again I had to make some decisions here. Hatebreed.
Yes.
I Will Be Heard.
Yes.
I'm starting to second guess that one a little bit.
It's Destroy Everything, though.
Yeah.
My 5-year-old loves Destroy Everything. So.
Yeah. So, some of the reasons that some of these really harder songs didn't make it is because some of the slower ones, like Rooster, was so iconic. I'm just not kicking off Rooster.
No.
Or In the Air Tonight. I do believe what I said. You have to have a reset song in there.
Yes.
And so I didn't want to take those out, even though song for song, it may be better, but as a top 10, it didn't make it.
Right. Another one for Aftermath, Simple Man. I have tons of videos from the First Bat guys where it's just a collage of these guys with their families and stuff, and Simple Man
Are you saying we should do a top 10 D-Kit song? Are you jumping to D-Kit?
I think so.
Not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
I think so.
Top 10 D-Kit song.
That would have to be, because you're kidding up now. Now we got to calm everything back down and get everybody back to normal again.
All right, I'll think about that one.
That's gonna be way tougher than this was, Brent.
oh gosh, it might be. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you at least agreed with half of it. I don't expect to appease everyone. I hope I didn't piss off anyone. There's someone in there that's like, you got like 8 of them wrong.
Someone's pissed.
That's right, and that's okay. I will go down. I will be in the comment section of this one, and I hope you got a few more songs in your library because of this. Leave your suggestions, and I'll go and check out your songs, and hopefully I'll add a few more to mine.
Yeah, I will. Bubble Flex. I forgot all about them.
There you go. There you go.
Soil, I forgot about them, and I used to listen to Halo like every day. So
yeah, absolutely.
Not Beyonce's Halo, the actual good Halo.
Yes, I get it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We drop an episode every Monday, and again, if you having health concerns or you just want to be bigger, faster, stronger, I don't care. Go to HP-TRT, get your blood work done, see where you're at. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. Thanks for watching, guys.